So in this video, we are going to study about the nth roots and the rational exponents. And we will explore the common core standards, that is ASSET, in which we will simplify the expressions involving the radicals and the rational exponents. Now here you will see that how to convert the radical expressions into the rational exponents or vice versa. So the first thing is, in order to find the square root of a number and squaring a number are actually the inverse operations. So as you already are aware that if you have any expression written under the square root function, under the square root sign, so what you do, in order to remove that square root sign, you take the square. So this is square and the square root, they are the inverse operations of each other. So first of all, understand what do we call this sign. This sign is known as radical. Now the expression written under the radical sign like this, it is called radicand. Now here, if nothing is written, it means no number is written, it is obvious that the 2 is written. Now this 2 is said to be index. But normally they write some of the expressions. So for example, any number is written outside the radical sign with a small letter, then you can say that this is the index number. So understand, let's suppose if cubic root of x is written, how do we write it? Always when we write it in the exponential, in the rational form, we have to write x. The power of the x is already 1 and divide it with the index. It means, in short, if some power is written inside and something is written outside the radical sign, so in order to write in the rational expression, rational exponent, you have to write it in over out. It means the inside power divided by the out index number. Now, for example, if you want to convert the fourth root of x, so how do you write? You will write the x and the power of the x is 1 divided by the index. Similarly, if fifth root of x square is given, so as I said that first you will write the radicand and then in over out. It means in is the power that is 2 and out is the index that is 5. So this is the way you convert the radical sign into the rational exponents. So let's take some of the example. For example, x to the power 7 with the index 6 is written. So you can write it as x to the power 7 over 6. Now let's make the expression more complicated. It x to the power 6, y to the power 3 is written with the index 4, for example. So how can we write? We write x and y as it is. No change in the symbols. Now you write the power of the x is 6 upon the index that is 4 and y the power is 3 divided by 4. It means you wrote the powers one by one. But remember, if any expression is written under the radical sign with the positive or negative sign, like for example x square plus y to the power is square and here index 3 is written. You cannot write it as x to the power 2 by 3 plus y to the power 2 by 3. So this is going to be wrong. Yes, you can write, if you can write x square plus y square, it is all in one bracket and the whole power is 1. So you can write it as 1 over 3. But you cannot segregate them or you cannot write them one by one with the power if here in the middle there is a plus or a minus sign. Now another thing which is most important, that if you have any number under the radical sign, any positive number, for example that is 36. Now index, as I said that there is no index, it means there is an even index that is 2, because 2 is a even number, so you can say that if the index is 2, then you will have two roots. Why two roots? That it will be a plus 6 and it will be a negative 6. In order to understand how do you get the plus 6 or negative 6, you can say that the undoing, in order to undo this radical sign, you take the positive 6 with whole square. Even you can write the negative 6 with whole square. So you know that the 6 whole square will give you 36. That is already written as the radicand. And similarly, negative 6 whole square will also gives you negative positive 6. So for a positive radicand with the even power, you have two answers, that is positive 6 and negative 6. So here we can say that if you have the even index and positive radicand, then you have a plus and a minus real root. So it means you have the two real roots. Real root. Now what will happen if you have the odd index? For example, negative 27. Now for the odd number, you know already that if the index is odd, that means 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 and so on. If the radicand is with the negative sign, your answer will be with negative sign. And if the radicand will be positive, then your answer will be positive. Which means, having the odd index, you will have only one real root. One real root. In both the cases, one real root. If the radicand is positive, you will have the positive answer, positive real root. And if the radicand is negative, you will have a negative real root. Now what will happen if the radicand is equals to 0? Whether the index is even or odd, the answer is 0. Because nth root of 0 is 0. That means you have only one real root. And 0 is a neutral number, so no need to write the positive or negative sign with this thing. So practice some of the question. For example, square root of 81 is written and you have to show it in the rational form and then finalize the answer. So you know that here there is no index, it means already it is 2. So you can write it as 81 whole to the power in over out. Here the power is 1 and outside is 2. So you can write it as 1 over 2. Since the index is positive, so the answer will come as positive and negative. Now, this is equals to, you know that 9 square will gives you 81 and this half is written over here and this 2 cancel with this 2, this will give you 9. But the index is even, so there are two answers, that is positive and negative 9. And if you have a calculator, you have to write this step and after this step you can jump and write down the direct answer over here. For example, you have the cubic root of negative 8. Now look at this question. The index is odd. So if you have the odd index, your answer will come or depends on the radicand sign. So the radicand is negative, so you will have the negative root, and you know that 2 to the power 3 will give you 8. You can check here mentally. 2 times 2 4 and times 2 will gives you 8. And this is 1 over 3. So you can write here 1 over 3. Now this and 3 cancel, so you will have negative 2. You can directly use the calculator and get the answer. Now for example, okay, third root of positive 125. So first of all, we will write it as 125 whole to the power. This is 1 in over out, that means 1 over 3. And we all know that 5, the third root of 5, yani cube root of 5 is 125. The cube of 5 is 125 and here 1 over 3. 3 and 3 cancel, so the answer is 5. Since the index is odd, so you have only one real root, that is positive 5. So practice more questions from your textbook so that you can understand the concept more clearly.